The skies have parted and a unicorn has arrived on scene. I put on a ratio call diagonal in Apple and it has worked literally perfectly from when I entered the trade. I want to walk you through three things. The first thing is why this structure is so much better than the commonly sought after alternatives that people typically use for this kind of hypothesis. The second thing I want to talk you through is how I analyze the trade, how I structured the trade, how I intend to manage the trade. And the third thing at the end of the video, I want to walk you through the exact thought process I use for winning trades to identify how can we maximize our profit potential. I spend so much time doing videos, management videos on managing losing trades, how to get out of this thing unscathed or make a few bucks. I like those. But this is a different kind of problem set to work through, which is how do we maximize the profit potential here? And I'm going to walk you through exactly that. And shout out to the Patreon family. Thank you guys so much for your support. You make videos like this possible. And just for your viewing pleasure, I just kept my shirt off today, so you're welcome. And let's get right into the details. So the ticker, as I mentioned, is Apple. We are trading the ratio call diagonal. If you are unfamiliar with this structure, that's okay. I have an entire playlist on it and I will link to it in the notes below. But essentially, we're going to use a long call that's deep in the money, that's further out in time, and then sell nearer term short calls against it. It's similar to a covered call, not the same. I hate the terminology poor man's covered call because that's not what this is. The strategy is a diagonal, and it's specifically a ratio call diagonal. So let's talk very quickly about the general principles of the trade, and then I'm going to get into some specific details on the remainder. So the first thing is I entered this trade on 10 May. I had a $10,000 allotment. So super small trade. It was mostly to speculate on a movement. That's really what this is. I fully anticipated this trade not working out in my favor, but I've been delightfully surprised. So I entered in with the vast majority of the capital for the trade, 95%. And this essentially, the reason why I make this allocation is it just prevents me from getting stupid if things don't go in my direction. But this is my average entry. So there is a 2 lot at 47.45. So I bought 2 of the 130 calls expiring, 17 Nov for 47.45. Those were about a 90 delta when I first put them on. Right now, they're about an 83 delta. So what this means is I wanted to gain long exposure. Why? Well, this is bullish. This is a 6-month daily on Apple, and there's a lot of interesting things going on. But first, post earnings, we got this nice big gap. I didn't enter right away. I wanted to see how it reacted about this gap. And if you'll notice, I actually entered on this day, not the one that the arrow is pointing to because that would be too simple. I actually entered here on the 4th day. This is the 10th of May. And it's because it held this level. So what I did was set up what I consider to be a high probability trade. What that means is in this trade, I set my initial stop here. So first stop is right here. This was the initial. Now my new stop is here. So my first stop was at 164.47. It's kind of at this next level of resistance, and it's attached to this big volume node that you see permeate all the way over here. Because if we fell below that, then it's kind of telling that I'm just completely directionally wrong. I've since moved this stop up, which we'll get into in just a minute. That's part of the profit taking approach. But the reason why I do this very clearly is because I have super clear bounds. I have a $10,000 max value trade. I'm using 94, 99.50, whatever it was. 94.90. The one permutation that I didn't say. But I'm essentially using, the vast majority of the money, $9,500. So I want to be correct. And that's why this is a pretty tight window for me to operate in. Before I placed the trade, I wanted to see how it handled this level. I also wanted to see what the volume looked like throughout that period. I also wanted to identify how it did most recently with its earnings trends and expectations. And overall, I had a positive bias. I liked the way it looked on the linear regression channels. The moving averages were all aligned beautifully, exactly as I wanted. And that was actually the first kind of warning stop that I had configured, which is this 50-day moving average, which is very common for me to use that as a stop for longer term trades. But it lined up pretty well with this resistance zone, which is kind of why I moved myself there. So that's the overall thought process. It's, again, nothing super complex here, just bullish. I like what I saw. So to set up the stop metrics, I typically like to use the stock because this is a directional trade. Some people like to use a random number for the long calls, i.e., if the long call falls by X dollars in terms of its premium, then I get out. To me, that's arbitrary. Volatility is going to move. Lots of stuff is going to move. That's not the right way for me to set these up. So what I like to do is use my hypothesis. This is a directional hypothesis. If it fell to this level, I knew I was wrong. At that level, I risked losing $1,600. That doesn't include the premium I would have collected on these short calls, essentially because those would make money as it goes down. But this is just for the long calls to tell me when I'm getting out. So essentially, if these long calls went from 47.45 down to 39.45, Eric is exiting the trade. Easy. So that sets up the loss side of my structure. Now, the original short call outlay is down here. So on the 10th of May, I sold the 2 June 175 calls. I sold 2 of them, collected $2.38. Those were originally a 42 delta, so slightly out of the money from when I first entered the trade. And you can see when I entered the trade, Apple was trading at 172.73. So what's going on here? Why did I get in at 238 and then out at 204? Great question. Good question. And it's tied to this. If you look at 26 May is when I adjusted this trade. So if we pull this back up and we go over here to 26 May, we can see again that this is the 10th of May when I entered. 26 May is this candle right here. This is right when we started running up above 175. I was in a very fortunate scenario. It's one of my favorite things to see, where my short calls were in the money. These were in the money, but I was still able to exit this trade at a profit for 2 reasons. 1, volatility contracted. 2, time had passed. It's the same mechanic to make money. Volatility and time operate in the same space in terms of the value it provides to an option. But because of both of those moving in concert in my favor, even though directionally in isolation, this trade is wrong, I still was able to get out at a profit, which is beautiful. So I didn't look the gift horse in the mouth. I took the trade off and I said, let me reconfigure slightly. So I went out from 2 June to 9 June and I stayed at that same 175. Why did I stay at the 175? It's simple, because it had a pretty damn good run. It had this gap up and then it started accelerating in here. So I didn't want to slide my strike too far out of the money because I was able to get 327 and I only essentially needed to do a 1 lot here, because in this case for a 2 lot, I made call it $480. That would have been my max potential there. In this case, I have a 1 lot and I still collected 327. Decent percentage on this with 1 entire less lot. The reason why this change in lot matters is because it unlocks additional upside potential, which again, this is a bullish trade. So now if we take a look at the P&L graph, as we can see, we're pretty much in max profit. This trade can make a total of $991 and I'm making $954. These short calls expire the 9th of June. We got a few days left. So you're actually going to see at the end of the video how I'm deciding what to do here, which is one of the most kind of beneficial parts of this in my opinion. Now, the other part I promised to talk to you about was comparing this to an equivalent position and explaining why this is better. A lot of people would trade a covered call here or attempt to. And this trade makes significantly more money than the covered call equivalent. Why? Let's use the same principal amount of money, $94.90. That's what I have invested. If we look over here at the covered call equivalent, $94.90, when I got into the trade, when Apple was trading at 172.73. So this is saying we have $94.90 when Apple was trading at this price, you can get 54 shares. If I bought those 54 shares, first, there is no short calls against it because you don't have enough for a covered call. You would need at least 100 shares. So you're losing that profit target right out of the gate. The second thing that's happening, the P&L at this point is $340, whereas this trade is up $900. That's leverage working in my favor. The third thing is I control a much larger position. That's why I'm making more money. Again, leverage. So overall, the covered call in this scenario is far inferior. There are instances where this looks better. One, if there's a good dividend. Two, if you don't have a specific time frame you're operating in. I did. My hypothesis wasn't Apple is going to go up over the next 5 years. After I saw this move, my hypothesis was Apple is going to go up soon, meaning over the next quarter at least, which is exactly why I went out about 6 months. It gives me plenty of room to give it some space, but I'm not going out into infinity, which is one of the benefits of the covered call. The point being is in this scenario, if you can get the direction correct, you can make way more money on these than these. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is this. What are my choices here? So I talked to you about wanting to maximize my profit potential, how I've been managing this trade, how I went from a 2-lot to a 1-lot. It gives me more upside potential. So that's what I'm doing so far to maximize my profit potential. But now we're at kind of a sticky spot because Apple is trading at 179.21 and I have 175 short calls. So what can I do to manage these? Well, I have 3 choices that I like. There's more than 3, but I like these 3. The first one, I can roll out this short call, and we'll look at an example of that in a second. The second, I could close the short call for a loss and sell one of my long calls to cover the cost. It essentially makes sure that I'm locking in a profit. So what this means is, let's say I buy back this 175 call, and right now they're not super expensive. Let's take a look. So if I look at this 175 short call, which still has about 20 cents left, that's why I haven't done it yet, but we're gonna pay $4.50. So I'm gonna essentially give back this 327 and I'm gonna give them another $1-ish, 75 cents, something like that, depending on where it lands tomorrow after the theta decays out, about $1. So what this means is I need to cover that $100 loss. There's different ways I can do it. And one of those ways is by selling one of these calls, long calls, at a profit. I realize the profit, it overwhelms the cost here. I make sure I'm realizing a gain as I'm realizing a loss. That gain supersedes the loss in terms of value. So overall, I'm still net green. That's one choice. Then the third choice here is to close the whole thing down at a profit. So let's talk about these 3 scenarios. The very first one is I'm not super inclined to do this just yet. The reason why I'm not super inclined to do option number 2 is because there's still decent profit left to be made in this trade. And this would allow me to take advantage of some of it, but not quite as much as I could if I choose to stay in the trade. So it really comes down for me, do I want to stay in this trade or do I want to take my ball and go home? Now, if we look at closing the trade, again, let me pull this up. We're going to walk out making about $1,000. And again, that's also on top of the $68 that we made before. So overall, if this thing closes out on time, it's about a 10-12% return on invested capital once we factor in whatever this loss is going to be. So there's that. Or I can roll out this short call. So again, if we pull up the platform and we take a look at our choices, let's pretend that this 20 cents decays out. So we wait a little bit longer. We're not really at any sort of risk of the dividend ex-div coming up, forcing some sort of early option exercise, nothing like that. So if we let this 20 cents come out, and that takes our option essentially down to $4.30 if we're mitting it at 450. So what I'm looking for is at $4.30, how far out in time do I have to go to make a profit? And I essentially could go out a couple weeks and I would make some money. I would actually make decent money rolling these out to the 175, same strike, a little further out in time. That would increase max profit potential. I could even go a little further up. So I can go from the 175 to 177.5. That's a math problem. And if you're still watching the video, which one of those makes more money? You tell me. Or I could always do another strategy where instead of just selling one of these at the, let's just call it $6, I could sell 2 of them and go even further out of the money to collect enough of a credit. And I still would have upside potential because I'm moving this further out and up the short call strike. So we have 3 choices here. This is definitely the one I'm leaning towards, and I will resolve this trade probably on expiration as I see what the market has done, where we're settling, how much extrinsic value is left in the option. So it's a little bit of a TBD, but this gives you a preamble to what I'm doing, how I'm thinking about it. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know, throw them down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, be an outlier, share with some friends. We just crossed 12,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you guys later.